Saturday night's coming up real quick. Khabib versus Poirier. Who you think winning that fight?
Oh, no, Khabib is gonna smash him.
Khabib gonna smash him, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
everybody's saying. Welcome back to Pride. We got UFC 242 coming up tomorrow night. Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Dustin Poirier. I wanted to give you guys an example of what each of these fighters needs to do to come out on top tomorrow night. But before we get into that, I wanted to take a look at their record. Tail of the tape, very similar. Same age, same height, same weight. Only difference is a 2-inch reach advantage for Dustin Poirier. Now I want to take a look at their records. Let's start with Khabib, 27-0. He's fought some really tough opponents, and he's dominated all of them. He hasn't shown much weakness. He hasn't really shown any opportunities to any opponents that almost had him. Conor McGregor hit him with some good shots. Didn't really buckle him or anything in that fight. Michael Johnson rocked him with a good shot that looked like it hurt him pretty bad. And Khabib, you know, he held on, he regained his composure, and he dominated that entire fight. He really put a beating on Michael Johnson after he landed that one shot. And Michael Johnson has good hands. If you compare him to Poirier, you already know they fought. He's one of those 5 losses that Poirier has was from Michael Johnson. He knocked him out and jumped on top of him, a little bit of ground and pound, and the referee had to stop it. So you look at some of the guys that Khabib has dominated over in the octagon, and those are some of the guys that beat Dustin Poirier. So this is going to be a real big challenge for him. So basically, judging by their records, and more importantly, who they fought in those 27 fights that Khabib has won, and who Dustin Poirier has fought in those 25 victories and those 5 losses. When you compare those two and you see, you know, just for example, Conor McGregor, Khabib beat Conor McGregor beat Dustin Poirier. So Khabib is coming into this fight with all the confidence in the world. He dominated a couple fighters that dominated Dustin Poirier. So it really takes a lot of stress off his shoulders and gives him a lot of confidence. Dustin Poirier is a lot more of an underdog than it looks like. And it's still a fight. Anything can happen. I'm rooting for him. He's got a lot of heart going into this fight. It's a really bad matchup. And these are some of the things that Dustin Poirier is going to have to work on for this fight. Mainly his balance. When he's striking, moving forward, he is really off balance. And that's going to just be too easy for Khabib to just change levels, take him down anytime he's moving forward, striking. The type of fighter that would give Khabib trouble. A lot of people keep asking me, if Dustin Poirier doesn't have a chance, who do you think would beat Khabib? And I keep telling them all the same thing. It's a really bad matchup because Poirier is an accumulative striker. He doesn't have that knockout power to knock guys out with one shot. He's got a lot of heart. He keeps coming forward, and he's an accumulative striker. So the accumulations of blows that he lands on his opponent is what gets him the knockout. The type of fighter that would give Khabib trouble is a Lyoto Machida type fighter. And there's not many of those. There was only one Lyoto Machida. Look at how much trouble he gave Randy Couture. Look how much trouble he gave Tito Ortiz. He knocked out Randy Couture with a front kick to the face. He was a very elusive fighter that wouldn't give those guys that were going for the takedown chances to take him down. And when they would, if they changed levels even a little bit and started going for that takedown, he'd be ready to either deliver a knee or a front kick to the face. Any of his strikes, he was a knockout fighter. So his strikes were more deadly. 1-2 strikes from Machida had a lot more power. It didn't take the accumulation of strikes. So a guy like Machida would give Khabib a lot of trouble. That style of fighter. Now Dustin Poirier just isn't that type of fighter. He's a great fighter. He's got a lot of heart. He moves forward, but it's a very bad matchup. So unless he really changes up his game before this fight, he's going to have a lot of trouble in the ring with Khabib. It's not going to be much of a fight. Basically, when I look at this fight, I see Khabib's managers looking at his opponent and saying, oh yeah, Khabib won't have no trouble with this guy. You know, he's a striker. He moves forward. Looks like he's got some poor balance to him. Khabib will take him down no problem. You know, Khabib has taken down everybody he's faced. And seems like an easy matchup. Seems like a smart choice for Khabib's team, his managers, to take this fight. Whereas on the other side of things, Dustin Poirier, it's a real challenge for him. It's very difficult fight. His style doesn't really match up with, doesn't give him the advantage, it gives him a disadvantage. His style is just not meant for a fighter like Khabib that takes guys down the way he takes them down. His level, Khabib said it himself, he's not at my level, I'm going to smash him. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. I hope in his training camp, I saw a lot on it, and he's taking it serious. I know he's taking it serious, and I know this is a big chance for him to step up and take the challenge. And he's got a lot of heart. I'm sure he's got a lot of fans that love him for that. And one thing that he really needs to work on is being more elusive, being that type of fighter that stays on the outside and chooses his shots wisely. I'm sure Poirier has a good camp going. I'm sure that they've been watching a lot of film. And I hope they're not too focused on Khabib rather than looking at other fighters that gave trouble to those grappling guys and those wrestlers in the past, like Machida. You know, if you look at his fights with Randy Couture and Tito Ortiz, those guys trying to take you down and ground and pound you all day, just like Khabib is. And his style made it very difficult for them. So hopefully Poirier sees that and applies that in his training camp, works on being more elusive and striking with a little bit more power. You know, instead of throwing 10 punches, throw 1 punch and make it count. You know what I mean? Because if you're throwing 10 punches, you're taking too much time, giving Khabib too much time to take you down. And once he takes you down, he's all over you. So being elusive, committing to your attacks, and really making those attacks count, basically like Machida would do. Stay elusive, move on the outside. Don't give him too much opportunity to take you down. Stay away from him, and then choose your shot and make it count. You know, when he landed the knee to Ortiz, he dropped him. You know, when he landed the front kick to Couture, he dropped him. You know, the front kick, that's what ended the fight with Couture. So being that type of fighter is what he needs to do to step up. Simply training harder and really committing everything to it, it's not going to work because it's a mismatch. He's too easy of an opponent for Khabib because of his style. So it's not because of him. It's not because of, you know, how hard he fights. He fights with 120%. It's his style. So he needs to really change up his game, stay on the outside, and be that type of fighter to beat a guy like Khabib. Because Khabib is taking it to an extreme. He's that type of fighter. You need to be that type of fighter. You see what I'm saying? If he's going to be 100% on his takedown, commit to it, as long as he gets an ankle, he's got you taken down. And he could do that from 10 feet away. So if he's going to be that type of fighter, you got to be the elusive type of fighter to not give him those chances to do that. And then when you have your moment, that's when you have to strike and you have to make it count.
Oh, no, Khabib is gonna smash him.
Khabib gonna smash him, right?
Yeah,
that's what everybody's saying.